G'day and welcome to Bikes and Bits 1000. Today we're going to be talking about gear indicators. So just before I get on to today's topic about the gear indicators, I just want to give you a bit of a progress of my FZ6N and what's been going on. You'll see this massive rear fender as well as the front indicators here have been removed, and I'll show you what's now on it. So this is the new tail that I've done up. So I've welded this bracket, as you can see, and then got the new indicators on the side. I've also, this is the actual number plate light, see up there. So it's much cleaner now, and I'll show you the indicators on. So these are the indicators now. It's quite a nice effect on there. So I had to change the flasher relay just over to an LED. Alright, back to the install of the gear indicator. Okay, so on to today's topic. Now, as you probably know, most modern bikes now come with actual gear indicators, and the gear indicators, I mean, like, tells you what gear you're actually in, gear position indicators. Not all bikes have been like that. My Yamaha FZ6 N does not have a gear indicator, and I'm one of those people that likes to know what gear I'm in because I always forget. So what I bought is a Healtech GI Pro X-Type G2. So as you can see, the actual gear indicator in there. So we'll hook that up into the bike. Now, if you're buying one of these, this part's actually quite universal, so it can fit on many bikes. But what you actually need is an adapter here. So this specific one is for my Yamaha. You'll see a code there. Now, if you go onto the Healtech website, you type in your bike, it'll actually tell you, firstly, if you can get a gear indicator for your bike, and what the adapter harness is. So together, they go in. So I'll just open this one up just to show you a bit closer what it's going to look like. So we'll end up fitting that close to the dash, but you can basically, it uses double-sided tape, so you can fit them pretty much anywhere where you want. So let's get onto the bike and show you how to install it. So first we need to sort of work out where we're going to actually put the gear indicator. For me, I'm going to have it down, get my hand out of the way, somewhere down here. So just under the actual speedo, so somewhere there. I'll obviously place it better. Next we've got to take the seat off and also remove the tank. And that's just these two bolts that I've already taken out here. So now I've got the tank supported just with an ocky strap, because we need to come down here and work underneath the tank. So within the wiring, what we're looking for is this one right here. Try and get into it, that one there. So we're going to have to disconnect that, so we can then plug in the harness. Alright, let's do that now. Alright, you can see I've disconnected that. Now we grab the harness and plug that in between. Right, so I've connected the two parts here. Now we just have to wire in part of the loom, and we'll move on to that. So now we're left with two wires. The green one goes to the crankshaft position sensor, and the red one goes to a switched 12-volt power supply. So the crankshaft position sensor is down here. The wire's down here. So you're going to have to strip that back to connect it. If you need to refer to the service manual, or otherwise it's pretty much there. So for ease, I've actually unclipped it and popped it out on the right hand side of the bike, so then I can strip it back a bit and connect the wire. So in order to connect the wires, they've provided these wire taps. Differing opinions on them. I use them occasionally, and look, just to make it a bit easier, I'm going to use it this time. So there's two wires exposed. There's a black here, that is actually black and grey. So we need to connect this to the grey wire. And that's how the wire tap looks like. So you see the green wire in there and then the grey wire, and we just fold this clip over. Like that. Done. And to finish it off, just wrap some tape around it to protect it. Okay, now we need to attach the 12 volt switched wire. So the easiest way is on this bike. This is actually the rear brake light activator. So the brown is a constant 12 volts when the ignition is on. So it makes it pretty easy. We're just going to tap into that using our wire tap, and that'll do it for us. Just make sure when you're routing the wire, you be careful. So this will obviously go under when I do it, so you don't want to catch any wires. There's that one done. Now I've just whilst it's not yellow and brown on this side, I've made sure I've actually hooked into the brown wire. So on the other side of the connector, I'll cover that over and wrap it in tape as well. Alright, now that's done. Now we just need to route the actual connector up the bike. And then I have to put the main actual gear indicator in as well. Alright, so I've mounted that just under there, and to make life a bit easier, I ended up taking off the headlight assembly, so just to get that cable through a bit easier. So I'll continue threading this through and bringing the cable from the other side up. Alright, so now we turn it on. You see it flashes through the gear numbers, and then it's in L, which is learning mode. You can see as I'm turning the back tyre just by hand, it's actually registering that it's moving, so it's just a bit of a test that everything's wired up properly. So now we've got to start the engine. A bit loud. You could see the L was was flashing faster. Alright, now we've got to go through the learning procedure, and that's as the numbers flash up and the engine's running, we just have to select the gear, rev up the bike a little bit, and then when it comes up with an N, you then move to the next gear. And this is all in the instructions, so let's get going with that. Alright, so that's actually done now, so we'll just double check that that's working. Being on the rear stand, it confuses a little bit, but that seems to be all working. So you can see it's off when you turn the bike off. So we'll start the bike up, we'll just turn the ignition on, and it goes through the gears. But thanks for joining me on this while we install the new gear indicator. If you like this sort of content, please like, subscribe, and we'll see you for more enhancements on the bikes. Cheers!